practice, it's kind of bulking up the HE aspect of it as well, which would be quite good. So, I mean, looking back at the Apps for Innovation work that we did, there are quite a few things on there that are examples of visible learning. The thing that Anna did something with Flipboard, didn't she? There's quite a few examples on there, I think, or we could just pick something that we're doing right now. I also liked the idea of putting actions for this week. That was a good idea.
Yeah,
so,
it spells it out, doesn't it, to people, and it's easy for them to follow.
Yeah, and I added the Padlets. I didn't know where you wanted to. Last week we added the Padlets to the introduction bit, so that they were there. So I don't know. Have you got 3 Padlets for this week?
We've got 3 Padlets for this week. 2 covering the assessment content, and 1 about the learning live, capturing learning live. So yes, they're all been added to the Google Plus community, and they're on the Blackboard site as well, so people can access them easily.
So you maybe want to add the 3rd one onto the introduction, because I added 2 of them onto the introduction.
I see your point. Yeah, we'll do then. I'll go back and add that now. Because thank you very much for adding them into the introduction as well.
Well, I think they probably need them at the beginning, don't they, to see that the help is there. But,
yeah.
Yeah, it seems, and it all looks very lively. They're still. I like the look of the posts on the community for last week. Although there's not lots and lots of people posting. What they are posting is very visual, and it looks.
It's really varied.
Yeah, yeah. So there were lots of thing links. There was a few green screening. Yeah. I really liked. Did you see it was Rebecca's partner Andrew who did that green screening thing with Romeo and Juliet? See that? Well, have a look at that. It's really good. It's two children in their own time, I think, presenting about Romeo and Juliet from different places, and it's really, really good. And then there was quite a lot of app smashing as well. I thought that was good.
Mm.
So
yeah, I think a lot of people really engage with it and produce some interesting stuff.
Yeah. The stuff that's appearing is really interesting.
Yeah.
So there's no doubt that we are having an impact on those people who are active. But thinking about the evaluation, and I know Nikki's got a questionnaire and a plan, a research plan. I think there's lots of evidence that the people who are posting, there is evidence of transfer to practice. There's no doubt about that. But I suppose what we want to get at is whether the lurkers are also transferring to practice. So, are the people who are not active participants still doing something in their classrooms is a question.
Just to add to that as well, myself and Anna, we came up with some questions to ask people as we're posting in the Google community.
Hang on a minute. Hi, I'll call you back. I'm just in a meeting online. Okay. I'll call you back. Bye. Okay.
Yeah. So we've got we listed some questions to ask people as we're posting. They're examples of practice. So I can forward those to you all if you like. So in case you want to ask them as well and chip in, that'd be good.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
I'll put it on the Slack community then.
You're going to put them on Slack.
Yeah, I'll put them on Slack under week 2.
All right, that sounds good. So I wonder, Nikki, do you want to talk a little bit about the questionnaire and the plan, and then we could see whether anybody had any thoughts before we send it out.
Have we got? As if no one's got a copy, have they? Just.
I can screen share a copy, or you could screen share a copy if you've got one, or you could just talk about it if you like.
I was going to say that's probably going a bit beyond what I'm trying to. Capable of this one.
I think I can put it up.
I can have 2. I've got 2 screens. It's just easier if I can have it up.
Let's see. Well, do you want to see if you can do it, and if you can't, I'll do it.
No, I can't. I'm just trying to get a separate copy available just so I can talk and see people.
Okay, I'll see if I can do it then.
Sorry.
Where has it gone? Here we are. Is.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
So I'm trying to screen share the questionnaire. Can you see the questionnaire?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
no.
So, and if I scroll through it, does it scroll through on the screen? Yeah.
Have they already had this?
No, not yet. We've been trying to find some time just to finalise it.
Yeah.
So perhaps we could finalise it now, shall we?
So based it on, what was it based on, Helen? One of your other ones, wasn't it?
Probably.
But it was, I know that I've duplicated some of the questions, like the poll that Sway put in. In the first part, it's sort of about them and trying to get an idea of who is taking part on what sort of level. But it would be useful just to collate all this in one place rather than having to go to the poll and go to the map, etc., if people are willing to take the time. And then I went through the aims and objectives of the actual MOOC in terms of the research project and tailored the questions to match that. So it was all primarily about online CPD and transferring what they learned in this format into practice. So trying to evaluate what their experience was of online CPD so far, and why were they joining it, and what were their sort of expectations of it, and then going through just some basic questions about their current experience with tablets. You know, have we got mostly complete beginners, or have we got mostly people who've had some experience and are looking to extend their practice because they can't find that information anywhere else? And then it really just, there was a couple of questions, or there are a couple of questions about teaching and learning and trying to see what, I mean, I know we're nearly in, well, we're in week 2, so they will have already had some experience. It would be really interesting to do this completely at the beginning, but I think it will still be useful. And I'm really, I know I asked a few of you a few questions over the week, but how can we capture those people that are just lurking? I imagine there are lots and lots of people who are kind of watching and stealing ideas and gaining information, but we will never be able to. Yeah, how can we encourage them to participate, or find out what sort of things they're looking for and what they've managed to learn and transfer into their classroom?
I think of the 500 and odd people that we've got signed up on the actual course, there's probably about 60 that have actually clicked on the link and gone into it.
Right.
So
into the community or into the course on Blackboard?
Into the course itself.
Right, so they've just joined, and then that's less than 20%, isn't it? Much less than 20%.
Yeah, which is why I send the link out again to how to enrol, just in case people had forgotten how they'd enrolled and how to get back onto Open Education.
I must admit that is a bit confusing, because I'm working, you know, as we all do, between Nile and email and this and that, and Google Communities, and I'm thinking, whoa, what am I doing this time to try and find my way back?
Yeah.
So have we got any ideas how we could improve the uptake then? So 550 people are getting an email that says, welcome to week 2.
Yeah. I think maybe on the Google community to have, maybe not this time, but to have a pinned tweet, because I know you can only have one pinned tweet, can't you? And the one from Sway poll is really useful, I think. But, and I know there is a link on the right-hand side to go to the course itself. But if you haven't come in at the course, you know, overall course page, you might forget how to get back to.
We just perhaps need to keep posting it.
Yeah.
To keep posting the links. Keep reminding the links.
Yeah. Because I agree. We work across so many different platforms. Sometimes you just forget where you're supposed to be.
Where you're supposed to be.
The other thing is to keep letting everybody know that it's not too late to join in at any time. We're not saying you've got to do the whole course. You can dip in and out of it, and we're quite happy for latecomers to dip in.
Yeah.
So it's not like they've missed anything. We can keep inviting. I mean, we can keep doing Twitter.
Would it be interesting that if we can, excuse me, get this questionnaire out this week and see how many responses we get, and then see, and one of the questions are, I'm trying to find it, how would they describe their use? We do use the sort of word larkers, etc., etc. I think that, how would you best just describe yourself in relation to your current expectations of the MOOC? So active participant, hesitant participant, dipper, i.e. they're going to come in and out, and they're intending just to come in and out, lurker, they'll read but probably not post anything. And then I have used the word stealer, which I probably need to change.
I think perhaps we put borrower.
Borrower.
My
It is a
client.
bit much. I was trying to get the breadth of it in. Anyway.
There's nothing wrong with being a borrower, that's fine, it's all Creative Commons,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's a good reason. It's probably better than a lurker. A borrower implies you're going to actually do something.
Yeah.
Whereas the lurker perhaps just looks and doesn't do anything, whereas a borrower is active.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
I want to look quickly through the questions. Is it worth asking as a follow-on for that question? What might encourage them to move to become more participatory?
Yes, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
In which case, does that give us an action? If it's too difficult to implement this time, then maybe in the future it's something we can bear in mind.
Yeah.
One question, I don't know about what the Google Forms does, but can you, if it's a multi-page survey, can you submit partway through?
I've labelled quite a few of the questions as requires an answer, so I haven't made it multi-page.
Okay.
I did start to look at that, and then I thought, oh, that's getting it too complicated. Let's just have one on.
Okay. Well, okay, I was thinking if you've got lurkers who are not participating a lot, and then you hit them with a huge form with lots of questions to fill out, which are all required, most of the lurkers are just going to say, can't be bothered, and not submit. Whereas if you have a very quick form, which is, have you enjoyed it? Have you read anything? What's your level of participation, lurk or whatever? Do you want to carry on? You'll at least get people hitting that first page and answering that question and capturing some information.
Right. Okay.
So,
I don't know if you can do that.
yeah, I don't know if that's possible in that interface.
So maybe
do multi-page, and you can. I think it is possible, but I haven't actually done it. I've just sort of half done it by default when I've been trying to set things up and thought, oh yes, it goes to another page. Do you want to continue? So I think that it does have the ability to branch out. I'll look at that.
How about splitting it down into a smaller ones, because people have got quite a lot of things to do with the reading and browsing and the activities and posting. So, and also then to add themselves to the the Participol, the Z map, and to do a survey. Why not just have a little snap survey each week, which has got no more than 5 questions in it? Because the ones that are here next, well, and we can see who's lurking. We can see if they're taking, if they've even clicked onto it.
You can do that from Blackboard.
Yeah, and then next week, we've got more targeted responses, because if they're still with us next week, then we can see exactly what they're doing with it. Whereas lurkers are never going to say, well, yes, they might say I'm using this or that, but if it's too long, as Neil said, they're just not going to bother. And if it says, are you going to continue, they'll just say, well, no, and they'll go. We might lose them, but we might have kept their interest had it been a shorter survey.
Yeah, I think perhaps perhaps cut the form down so it's a shorter form.
Yeah.
And expect them to do the whole thing.
Yeah, because I mean, next week we can go in a little bit more in depth, because, as I say, the people that are staying with us, then we can get some more qualitative feedback from them, I think.
Well, we were going to do a pre and a post.
Yeah, oh, okay.
And possibly a check in the middle. Shall we just have a quick look at the? Let's come back to that. But in the light of the research plan, if we could share that. Do you want to talk through that, Nikki? If I bring that one up. So Nikki's made a plan.
She's got far too much in it to be able to get done, but it was a good start to then be able to slim it all down.
Well, yeah, the question is whether we're going to be able to do the plan, and which bits we would want to do.
So I'd also, Jim had the idea of putting questions on. I think that's a good idea, that gives us a more tailored feedback to be able to evaluate if we do put questions throughout the week on both on their own within the Google community.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
As well as within the comments. So when people have posted something, if we then comment something, that almost then invites a response as well. If they've turned notifications on, they get a little dot, don't they? Do they get an email to say that someone's posted on their comment? I don't. I'm not familiar with that sort of dialogue.
I do,
Yeah,
so I
they
think
do,
they
yeah.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you've got
That's
notifications
crazy.
on, it kind of pops up on your. It pops up on my iPad when
I
they.
know it does on your
Yeah.
iPad, but to be honest, I don't read that Google Mail because I just get so much from all the students.
Yeah, you get an email, yeah.
Right. Okay. So there was an element of weekly evaluation of the community because that's where people are posting. You know, what sort of could we evaluate the visual content? Can we ask questions? Can we analyse the responses? And I am quite interested in the dialogue rather than people just posting something and walking away. Other people that are doing that, only doing it to be able to potentially get their certificate at the end of it. You know, I noticed a couple of things last week. Oh, here's my homework. So are they just using it as an evidence to achieve something at the end rather than creating some dialogue and learning from it that way? There was, I think I asked Neil and I asked Belinda and I asked I think I asked everyone, didn't I? But how can we evaluate both the Twitter, the Blackboard, and the
G+.
Yeah.
I've run the analytics on Twitter. Thank you very much for sending that link. I think you sent it to Jean and forwarded it on.
Oh, okay.
For the TWT16 hashtag. It's amazing. It shows what devices people were using, how many followers they've got, so I can see what their influence is. It's only gone back since I think it's the 19th. So, yeah.
I think.
What did you use for that, Belinda? What was the tool you used to do that?
Found something and pulled it, didn't you? I can't remember. I have to go back through my email.
I can't remember. I put it on the blog anyway. I've done two new links on the blog. One is called feedback, and I should put a really nice piece of feedback from Nicola Schofield on that, which was lovely. And another one which I put reflections or something, and onto there I've just kept sort of a running total of things that I'm learning as part of the MOOC, and one of them, and new tools that I've used, and the last one on the list is Twitter something or other. I could go to it, but then I'd have to come out this Hangout, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, that's all. Yeah, I think you did put it on. I remember seeing it because the people, when I did my presentation, the people wanted to know what we were using.
Yeah.
So I did find it. So that's good. I like the idea of doing posting good reflections or posting. We're going to post bits of feedback as we go and collect them in the blog. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, so I've just set up a new category which is called feedback. So if you put a post and then tag it with feedback, then you can access them all from the homepage. You know, there's a menu item at the top. So that the feedback is feedback from students, and reflections is reflections from us.
That's a good idea. So things like the B comments, the comments that we want to make note of. Yeah.
Yeah, and I could see that Nicola was recommending it on Twitter and saying how good it was.
Yeah, so things like that we could capture and collect. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Somebody emailed yesterday, I can't remember her name now, for permission to use information about the MOOC in a science portal. So I've read it through, and I just asked her to say about the fact that we use Google Plus and the links as well. So she's going to send us a copy or a link to a copy of that once it's published.
So can you see that feedback from Nicola there? Can you all see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it? By far the most imaginative and detailed computing teaching MOOC I've been involved with. So what was that? Was that an email then, or what?
No, it was in the Google community.
Right, that's good.
And I just thought it was so nice. It was worth capturing that one.
Yeah, so we perhaps want to carry on capturing a few of those. That would be good.
Yeah.
So anything else about the evaluation, the research plan then? So Nikki, do you think this is doable? Do you think to do some of that as we go along?
I still I like the idea of the short snap surveys. However, I'm still conscious that we do want to do, and we always said we would do a pre and a post. So how that works with that, I'm not entirely sure.
Well, shall we cut it down a bit and do it as a pre and then do it as a post and say that's the pre and post? But we will be mindful of the fact that we want to do little surveys as we go along.
Okay.
So perhaps as part of each week we tried to do it with the Twitter chats, didn't we? Where we had an evaluation question at the end of the tweets.
Oh yeah, I mentioned, Jim, that you need to keep that evaluation question in the tweets.
Yeah.
All
So-
right, I haven't actually seen that question, so yeah. I'll have a look.
I'll email it to you later.
All right, thank you.
Can I ask that when we do the next tweet chat, well, all the tweet chats, we encourage them to put A1 in their answer, because it's a bit of a nightmare putting together the Storify.
Yes, yeah. It got a bit undisciplined, didn't it, with the A1, A2?
And I mean, sometimes people will forget, but it just makes it ever so much easier to get it out quicker, because we had about 300 tweets on the last one.
Did we?
Yeah.
Wow.
It took a while. Yeah.
So there's all these people joining in on Twitter. Are they the same people that are joining in on the other places? I wonder. Or are they just people who found us through Twitter?
Oh, I don't know. Interesting. I don't know really.
Are we plugging the sign in as part of the? Perhaps we need to plug the sign in a little bit more as part of the Twitter chat.
Shall I add that to the daily TweetDeck tweet then?
The sign in.
Yeah. Because I do make sure that there is one tweet every day reminding them about the upcoming chat.
Oh, right.
I could add a more generic tweet about the course.
Yes, a generic tweet that says, not too late to join in, we'd encourage you to dip in and out anytime you like, please join us, something like that.
I'll add that then.
And perhaps the community and the two links, if we can get them in. I mean, it doesn't really matter if they're more keen on the community than they are on the Blackboard. But, yeah.
Okay, I'll add that in.
So Blackboard data is good to analyse, isn't it? And the Twitter stuff is easy to analyse, but we can't analyse the Google Plus community very well.
No,
Neil, is that right?
I listed Jim Harris's help as well, and between us we still couldn't find out how. I've run Google Analytics. I'm getting it off ZMaps, but not off the Google Plus community. Neil, would you know of anything that we could use to analyse it at all?
It looks like there isn't anything that will do a community.
No.
I haven't had a chance to investigate it, but it looks like you can investigate people's postings. So if you should be able to capture, I think, everything someone has posted is public, and that should pick up everything in the community as well. And then you may have to do a bit of post-processing to work out and keep just the bits you want. So it should be possible, but not comprehensive and not easy, or not trivial.
So would you be able to tell us would you be able to make some recommendations for 3 things we could do to analyse the community in some way?
Yeah, I just need to get around to find a bit of spare time. There's some sample examples they've got online for analysing G+ data. I find a bit of time to dive into it, have a look at it, see what it can do. But there's a couple of steps about getting authentication tokens and setting them up and things which I just haven't had a chance to get round to yet.
So there may be something we could do.
There will be something. It won't be as good as, it's not as mature as looking stuff on Twitter and things.
No, and we may have to kind of do it by hand a bit.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.
That
might be something that we could do post MOOC, really.
Yeah.
Because I think there's, I'll have to hold my hand up and say, whilst Kim's done a great job of the activities, I'm well behind on writing up the reading and browsing part for week 3. And to be honest, it's because I've spent such a lot of time doing Storify and ZMATs and learning lots of new things, and I've really got to get on with it. So please excuse me this week if I don't do much responding in the Google Plus, because I need to get this sorted out. So.
Yeah, and how about this idea that Liz Jones said that we release it on Saturday? I haven't responded to that yet. I mean, it really depends on whether we're going to be ready to release it on Saturday at 5 o'clock instead of Sunday at 5 o'clock.
Oh, sorry, Helen. I can definitely see why she would say that, because yes, that's probably a better time. She's the only person that's asked for it. I did respond to say that I'd sort of flagged it up with the team, but no more than that. For myself, it's going to be a bit tricky this weekend, is all I can say. But you know, if that's what we decide, then absolutely, yeah, why not?
Well, it's probably up to you, Belinda, because you're the next one. I mean, the rest of us probably could work towards that, but if you've got one to do this week, I mean, if it was, yes, I did mine on Saturday as well, so it's not, we were doing it at the last minute, and yesterday I was debating at the last minute too, so it's maybe we just leave it as it is, shall we?
I don't know. What does everybody else think? Because I understand her, what she's saying. Absolutely.
What do you think, Jean?
Well, I don't know. I mean, we have said in all of the kind of lead up and all of the information what the timings are, and we don't know that the rest of the people participating aren't relying on that and have planned around that.
Yeah, fair enough.
So it could be a good idea for the future.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll leave it as it is, and I'll put some response to her that that was a good idea and we'll bear it in mind for the future or something like that. Okay. So technology outdoors. Shall I look at see if I can find some time to look at the chapter with you, Belinda? Are you?
Yeah, I'm going to. I've got some time tomorrow afternoon. Well, obviously tonight and tomorrow afternoon, and if I can come back to you after that for some help if I need it, please. Thank you.
I quite like the idea of having examples from practice. Have you got some for technology outdoors?
Well, I was going to use the ones off the Technology Outdoors.
Yeah.
Can't remember blog that we used. If that's all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if I've got some more, I'll send them.
Okay. I mean, my biggest concern is that. I mean, we've got 40% are primary schools, but we've got 24% are in HE, and I don't think that we're necessarily meeting their sort of resources. Do you know what I mean? Their resource needs. I'm not quite sure really. I haven't got any examples really from HE.
Well, we were going to use when we did the Technology Outdoors project, the idea was to use a QR code trail for new students as part of Open Day. That was one of our ideas.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So we could suggest that they could do that and show them how to do QR code trails.
Because they'll all be involved in welcoming and settling new students in HE, won't they?
Yeah.
Like getting to know their campus and their department and all of that stuff.
And a lot of universities use Orasma as part of their literature, don't they? So is it Falmouth University's brochure is full of Orasmas. So we could probably find something like that. And we did that trail around. We did that Christmas trail, didn't we, for students? Not many people did it, but that was a.
I might come and see you then and get some details of that, because we could probably use that. That would be good.
Yeah. So we'll have to think about examples for HE.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and actually, well, our students, the SEN students go around the campus looking for acoustic environments, assessing
brilliant.
Environments. That was a good one. So they take the iPads around and they capture their ideas around which bits of the university are good for people with hearing impairments. That was another example.
Oh, that would be wonderful, because we've got Sound is one of our activities. Plus, Kim is doing the SEND strand, so that would be really, really good.
Yes, I've got that on a community. I can share that with you.
Thank you very much, Helen. That'd be lovely.
I think it's just having a think, really, isn't it, and seeing what we've got.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to see if we could post something about our own examples of visible learning. So I think that does encourage them. Is there anything else I've got on my list here? Marketing. There was a thing on our notes last week about marketing being interested in doing a news story on us. Did you post that, Jim? Did you?
No. I think, did you mention it? I think
Yeah,
you
you
mentioned that they contacted you.
You mentioned it, Helen, and
Did I?
I put it in the notes. Yeah.
Right. So we ought to see if we can get them to do a story on us, shouldn't we?
Something came round from marketing on Wednesday night at about 5:30, asking for a copy by Friday afternoon. And it was to do with, I think, digital transformations. And I mean, this would have lent itself, I suppose. But unfortunately, I responded to say that I couldn't do it in the time frame. But it went to Helen Scott and to Christina Devecki as well. So hopefully they will be doing, more stuff like this. So.
Well, yeah, I've got to on the 8th. That's next week, isn't it? I've got a meeting with Holly Russell from PR.
Yeah, it was Holly Russell that sent the email.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's buying me coffee and cake to pick my brains about stories, so we could do something for that. She's she captured the Makey Makey event this last week. And she's she's done a story about that actually. So she said, "Have you got any other projects?" And I said, "Yeah, I've got loads." So I'll buy you coffee then. So I can do that. Maybe we ought to try and put something together for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I talked to this Erasmus Plus group. I need to put a blog post up about that. But that's an example of dissemination, isn't it? So that needs to go as part of our dissemination. So that went quite well. I had to go to Top Lodge, which I haven't been to before. And there was a group of international HE people, very, very interested in the MOOC. Really, really interested, actually. So that was good. So I shall blog about that. And
we're using this Google Hangout. Were we intending to do a Google Hangout for, to meet any of our students?
Yeah.
That would be good.
Couldn't we? So the focus group, are we going to the focus group via a Hangout?
Yeah. Oh, Helen's gone.
Helen's gone.
Oh,
How about that?
No, you've come back.
So, Nikki, what do you think about using a Hangout for the focus group?
I thought that's one thing we were going to do, but that was just to some invited people at the end, wasn't it? Random selection.
Oh, okay.
Shall we do it at the end, or shall we try and get some people to join in, kind of on a few occasions, or?
I wasn't sure if we were going to use it as part of the course so that people could, try it out. Do you know what I mean? Or whether it was just for us to use as a tool. I wasn't sure.
I think they've got so much, have they not? Finding their way around different things.
Yeah.
It's just one more thing to try and learn and get their head around. The focus on taking practice into the classroom.
It's quite nice when we do the Twitter chat to actually be able to talk to them live and have them talk to each other live, in real time, isn't it? Yeah. And that's the nice thing maybe about a Google Hangout as well.
Well, you can have 10, can't you? I think you can have a maximum of 10 people talking. But you can have lots of people in the chat.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be really lovely to have something like a Leavers party. The people that have been the top, like the top 10 posters. I mean, you could pick them out now, to be honest, and have a farewell party. I think that would be really lovely, actually.
Yeah. Well, why don't we have invite them to sign up for it, and we have the first 10 to sign up can be in it, and the rest can be in the chat, and we can have a kind of highlights of the course or highlights of what we've been doing over the last 5 weeks.
Yeah, that'd be nice, mightn't it? Something a bit different. No, I mean, I've never seen something like that done before. I've seen recorded, I've seen a recorded graduation ceremony, and if you went through all of the parts of this particular MOOC and you had sort of, achieved so much, then a link was adaptive released to you, and it was a link to a video. And it was the tutor had dressed up in his gowns, and he actually handed you a certificate, and there's sort of to the screen that, congratulations, you've finished the MOOC. And they've got sort of, very stirring music in the background. It was good fun, actually. But actually to do something live would be really, would be quite nice.
Would be nice.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll do something in the last week then.
Yeah, or Yes, because that's Easter, isn't it? We're just going to still keep it at 1 week intervals and not 2, are we?
I don't know if we can really change the.
No, because I think the dates have gone out, haven't they? So
Yeah.
I mean, if we did it again, I mean, there is a, yeah. The trouble is then it would be really stretched out, wouldn't it?
yeah.
If we did it over.
It'd be quite hard for us to maintain the impetus
Yeah.
of it.
And it might lose its impetus if it went over.
I have to say that, I mean, the feedback so far that I've, the people that have been kind enough to post has been very positive. That they're really getting such a lot from this. Rob Farmer did say that actually we've crammed quite a lot in, and in terms of a normal MOOC where we're expecting 3 hours, there's an awful lot to read and to try out in that time. And I realise that the classroom time is outside of that. But I think for, if we run it again, we just have to be mindful of the fact that some people will only ever just dip in and out, and they might be a bit overphased by the wealth of stuff that we're actually giving them.
Yeah.
We might just need to chunk it down a little bit more, perhaps. I know we've got reading and browsing, and I think in your previous one there was further reading and browsing, wasn't there? And I think perhaps that might work a bit better.
Yeah, I agree. There's probably too much in it. We could have got away with a lot less, but we were trying to make sure there was something for everyone, and we've got people from all sectors, and that's the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suspect they probably just skim the reading and browsing, and then choose one activity. And we keep reinforcing. We're only expecting them to do one thing, one activity or one of the extension activities if they don't like the activity. That's all we're really wanting. And they by and large they have only done one thing. They've posted this is my thing link, or this is my so. Okay then. So shall we? Is there anything else anybody wants to say?
Just going back several topics, trying to get some more people who signed up active. Is it worth just sending out, in addition to the weekly update, just send out a very quick message saying, if you've registered, here's a quick reminder of how you get involved in the course, how you get involved in MOOC, how to sign up, where the bits are. Just a very quick, snappy call to action type email.
I sent one out at the beginning of last week, and I had about 7 responses to that.
Yeah.
So, in fact, I'm still getting some. I had one yesterday actually responded. So it has prompted 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But we could certainly send another one out if you like.
Why don't you put that quote from that girl Nicola as the feedback within it, so people sort of look at it and go, oh my gosh, I'm missing out on something amazing here. I'll actually now go and have a look. If people think that it's having such an impact on other practitioners like them, then they may just be a little bit more scared to go and have a look.
Yeah.
Good idea. Does somebody else want to do that, or do you want me to do that?
No, you concentrate on your writing. I'll do that. Don't worry.
Okay. Yeah, if you just use this send email site tool, is it called Site Tools and send email, then I think you can format your email a little bit more. Rather than if you put it in the announcement, it just comes out as plain text, so any images are lost.
Yeah, we probably don't need images, but yeah, all right, I'll look at that. And shall we do another catch up next week? What about Tuesday? Is anyone free Tuesday? Say, I could do Tuesday at midday, or we could do 4 o'clock and see if the teachers could come.
I can do 4. I can't. I've got a student observation and a tutorial in the morning.
I'm not sure. I'm on my iPad, so I can't check my calendar without losing you. So I don't think.
Yeah, so I'll have to come back to you later.
Okay. Well, I'll put in 4 o'clock on Tuesday then, and we maybe will be able to get some teachers. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. All right.
All right. So thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's lovely and sunny outside, by the way.